Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to be putting on a different hat than we normally do. We're usually looking at some type of data analytics based on price action. We've recently, in 2022, we've started talking about on-chain data, but now we're going to talk about something that we've never spoken about before. Specifically, we're going to be looking at derivatives. In this video, we're going to be discussing the open interest of Bitcoin futures. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We also do have a new Into the Cryptoverse NFT. I will talk that launched today. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. So one of the things that we don't really talk about so much on this channel is derivatives and open interest. And one of the things that I thought would be useful, since we're trying to expand what this channel is all about, I want people to learn about various things, whether it be on-chain stuff, whether it be our more typical data science type stuff that we look at as some of the charts, but also to understand what's going on in the market by the futures contracts. Okay, now if you're not familiar with what a futures contract is, futures are basically just contracts that allow you to buy or sell a cryptocurrency or any asset really, but they allow you to buy or sell something at a given price, at something that's predetermined at some point in the future, at a specified time in the future. So basically, it gives you the option to say sell a certain thing at a certain price in the future, or buy a certain thing at a certain price in the future. And so people like to use these types of things to try to predict where they think things are going to go. And if you decide to say you have the option to buy an asset at a certain price in the future, and the price of the asset's a lot higher then you'll want to exercise that option and then have the option to buy that asset lower. Then you can instantly see that you're getting a good deal if the actual price of it is higher. Of course, there is obviously a lot of risks involved, and I'm certainly not advocating that anyone go do this. The purpose of this video is not to advocate to go do it. It's to say, what can we learn from the people that do it? Okay, so there's a clear distinction here. All right, so you can see on this chart we have the open interest of Bitcoin futures denominated in US dollars going all the way back to 2020, early 2020. And one of the things that we should note is that there have been pretty clear two major peaks that we had in the open interest, one in April and then one in November. Now in April, this one seemed a bit more obvious to me, okay, that the market was getting overheated. I wasn't even looking at the futures contracts back then, but from other charts I was looking at, it seemed like the market was getting relatively overheated, and therefore we needed a 3 to 6 month lull, right? We called for that. This one over here was not as obvious to me, but according to the futures, we were actually at the similar levels as we were back in April. You can see the total open interest on the exchanges that we have here back in April was around 25 billion or so, maybe about 27 billion right around the peak. And then for this one, for the November one, it reached around 27 billion as well. So they basically reached around the same amount of open interest, both during April and in November. If the rainbow colors here are hard to really identify, if they're getting annoying, I'll go ahead and switch this over to a line chart. This just adds them all up pretty simply. So this might be useful for understanding when the market might need to cool off for a bit or something. Now, I think one thing to consider though with this chart is that as the valuation of Bitcoin in general trends higher, you would expect this to trend higher. So I do fully expect that eventually the open interest will exceed 27 billion. I don't think it will be limited to that with the exchanges that we're using here. As the valuation of Bitcoin goes up, we would expect that to be the case. And if you go look at it denominated in Bitcoin, you can see that it's basically just been sideways for a relatively long period of time. And actually recently it's moving back up. This is not the first time that the price of Bitcoin has been going down while the open interest has been going up denominated in Bitcoin. We also saw something similar back during the summer lull, right? The price was going down, the open interest denominated in Bitcoin was going up. But if you flip it back over to the US dollar, you can see that it was actually flat. And the reason it was flat was because while the amount of total Bitcoin, open interest was heading higher, since the price was going lower, the actual USD valuation of this open interest was actually more or less flat. Right now, it's not flat. Okay, it's been continuing to decrease because the price has been going down, and I suppose that the amount of open interest going up was actually a bit sharper over here than it has been in this one. And also do note that back in the summer, we kind of reached a bottom and then we more or less went sideways for a while with a slight descent. Right now, we've actually just been continuing to go down so far and have not yet found a definitive bottom. It does not mean that Bitcoin has not bottomed. It just means that it's not as obvious yet that it has. Okay, and so what we want to do is continue to monitor what's going on with the open interest of these Bitcoin futures, and you can also break it down by exchange. I mean, you can look to see what's going on, and let me flip this back over to the U.S. dollar here. But you can see, okay, what's going on based on various exchanges? Are we seeing a lot of open interest at various times, or are we not? And so this is, I do think it's useful. If you want access to this chart, just go check out intothe.cryptoverse.com premium list, and you'll get access to this chart as well as all these other on-chain charts you see over here and some of the other stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like talking about derivatives? Do you want to talk about it more? We can certainly talk about things more. We have this for other cryptocurrencies as well. But hopefully this is just one more tool that we can use on this channel to help us navigate the cryptoverse. Okay, so we mostly have spent most of our time just talking about regular data science models. More recently, we've been discussing on-chain stuff. Now we're going to talk a little bit about derivatives as well. We just want to explore different things. Now, I also mentioned the Into the Cryptoverse NFT. If you want to pick one up, I would encourage you to go ahead and go do so. Any of them that have not been sold by February 8th will be burned. So you have a few days, but make sure you go pick one up. There are a select number of them. I think there's about 80 of them. We just started selling them. I think a few have already gone. So if you want to go get one, make sure you do so soon. And if you hold this one and the one we're going to launch in 2 days in your address on May 3rd, then you can claim a third Into the Cryptoverse NFT for free. So go check it out. You'll find a link to this in the description below. I'll also pin it in the comment. And also let me know what you guys think about the open interest of Bitcoin futures and whether you like the idea of including that in the analysis on this channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.